Okay, so this video is being recorded right after meds. So their eyes look nasty because they've just been filled with antibiotics. As of today, I've officially ceased giving the painkillers unless condition gets worse. That is due to some stuff that I read online about how these painkillers can actually make it much more pleasant for the cat, but significantly slow healing by retarding the growth of new blood vessels around corneal ulcers, which are, well, ulcers on the eyeball. Very unpleasant. Now this guy here, this one here, he suffers from those more, and he's in worse shape for the eyes. And he also has a nasty, not very nasty, not terrible, but as you can see from what he's doing right now, he's getting ready to sneeze, though he might not do it. He's got a respiratory tract infection, which basically means throat, nose, sinuses, anything along the breathing tubes, lungs, and that's unpleasant. And then we've got this guy here, and he is doing much better. The eyes are still in trouble, as you can see, especially the left one. Here, look at me. Well, I don't know that you can see it, but the left one especially is still quite swollen, and according to the vet, it appears that there is what looks like, although we haven't confirmed this with lab tests because, frankly, there's no point to them. The treatment would be the same either way. What looks like, basically, that the eye infection has spread to the eyelids. That literally he has a skin infection, similar to what you would get after a wound, the infection that would spread around the wound, not just in the wound. He's got a skin infection on the eyelid. As you can see, I hope. I don't know that you can see that. Zoom in a bit. I don't know that you can see it, but if you see that little bit of white on the bottom side of that eye there, of that left eye, his left, your right, you'll notice that it has these sores on it. Now those, the vet had said that he was not familiar with. That was new. These are apparently some of the worst eye infections. What's with you? Oh, poor guy. Some of the worst eye infections he'd seen. The good thing is they're getting top-notch antibiotics. Chloramphenicol, also known as sintomycin or synthamycin, which is a great veterinary and human, actually, ophthalmologic antibiotic. And they're also getting doxycycline, or doxylin, which is a good anti-respiratory, or rather, respiratory infection antibiotic. It hits the lungs and the throat and so forth. And that's it right now. I'm not giving anything else. I may add in a second antibiotic for the eyes, but I don't want to give them both together because they can crowd each other out. And they're both nearly exactly the same, so they probably won't have any additional effect. But as you can see, this one, his right eye is looking amazing. The thing is that he's truly miserable living here. I mean, it's not so much that he's angry at me. He doesn't attack me. I mean, right now I'm right next to his food, so he's pissed off. But he doesn't attack me. What he does do is get terrified. When I pick him up, he just curls into a ball. He's scared out of his mind. And if you look at it from these cats' point of view, here's what happened. First, their eyes started to hurt. Then they lost their sight, and they couldn't find their mom to nurse. And although they could eat solid food, they could barely find it. And although they lived pretty much in my yard where I put solid food and wet food even every night, which they can smell, you know, the solid food is up on a table, and they couldn't jump on the table without being able to see. I mean, it's just about impossible. Now, cats do pretty well when they're blind. They have a really good memory, and they have really good senses of where they are in a space. You know, they learn that space, and then they know it. I mean, I've seen blind street cats that did just fine on the street. But these are kittens, and they were terrified. And then suddenly this weird big thing catches them. That's me, of course. Catches them and puts them in a box and grabs them by the scruff of the neck and holds them up and drips things into their eyes, and they go to the vet, and This one here is knocked out with anesthetic, and this one here is awake for it all, and I don't know which one is scarier. And now every 3 or 4 hours, this giant hand comes in like this, and grabs them and drips unpleasant, cold, ice cold, because they have to be kept in the fridge, liquids into their eyes, and forces things down their throat that don't taste good, antibiotics. And although they're certainly eating high quality cat food, and look at that. That cat was overflowing full when we started. That was at the beginning of this video, about 30 seconds before the video began. I put in that bowl of food. And although the food is good, you know, besides that, this is probably the worst hotel ever from their point of view. So yeah, these are some unhappy kitties, and they think that I am here just to torture them. You look at it from their point of view, I'm evil. I'm a horrible, horrible person, and honestly, I feel terrible about it, but, you know, I'm doing it for their good, and when it's done, these guys are going to be released, and they are going to, hopefully, you know, with any luck, being ferals, they're going to go on to live long, happy lives. And if I can recatch them later, they'll even be neutered. And that is the best I can do. If you've seen my past video where I release a feral kitten who was also blind when I caught him, that was about a week and a half ago or so, maybe even a little bit less. I saw that kitten today. He is doing so good. His eyes are so clear, and he's running around, and when I approach, he runs away terrified. So, oh, look who got her bravery back. The one thing that bothers me is both of these cats have developed these corneal ulcers. And that's not just the little marks under their eyes like I mentioned before, but it's the white, see that white glint coming off of his left eye, on your right? That white glint is the cornea, which is the surface of the eye, covering itself with a protective film because it's scratched, or in this case, directly infected. Now, this infection is certainly on the way out. I mean, these infections, I'm hitting them pretty hard. And remember that this guy was caught a day after this guy. So, so he's, you know, I caught him in the middle. I got this one here in the middle of the night, and I got this one the previous afternoon, not that same day, but the day before. So he is about 30 hours ahead of this one in treatment. So it's not surprising he's doing better. Anyway. Tomorrow morning, right now it's night, tomorrow morning we're going to be heading to the vet, and we are going to be getting both of these guys probably an antibiotic shot. Yeah, I can see we still have our cold. Probably an antibiotic shot. And, you know, I have high hopes for them. When I started recording this video diary of treating these kittens, starting with just this one and now both of them, I was pretty sure that they were going to die, frankly, especially this one. And this one I'm still a little bit worried about, the one on the right, on your left. But this one here, looking good. See you next time.